Good Saturday afternoon. Welcome to the show. Listen, what I'm going to talk about right now is some speculation that's running through my mind. And I don't know how true it might be or not true. But if it is true, it's pretty spectacular stuff. And so let's get right into it. What we're going to talk about is silver. And let's get right into it. Let's open up the video right here. Now, here's the thing. What we're looking at is pictures of Jim Rogers. And there's different men out there like Jim Sinclair, Jim Rogers, and a number of other ones of them. I think a lot of the guys out there that are in the know, let's just call it in the loop or whatever. I think most of them aren't talking about what's really coming. But I think Jim Rogers, he is telling you. If you take a look here at this one right here, it says hot. Jim Rogers warned that a global financial crisis in 2018. Now, we all know about the magazine cover of I almost said Inquirer, but the magazine cover that showed the phoenix burning amongst the ashes of the world's currency, and it said 2018 on the diadem around the phoenix's neck and all that, from the Economist magazine. We all know about that cover and the link to the year 2018. But Jim Rogers has talked about something else that I noticed that he talked about. And in other talks that he's given in the past, I've listened very carefully to what the man has to say. And basically they asked him questions. Like I remember one woman reporter asking him a question. She says, well, Jim, are you going to buy some more gold and silver? And he says, no. He says, I'm not going to buy gold and silver right now. He says, I'm waiting to buy gold and silver, but I'm not going to buy it right now. Now, I remember the price back then was considerably higher than it is right now. Well, Jim Rogers is still waiting to buy gold and silver. I think that these guys know about what's happening right now. They knew, I think, ahead of time that the price is going to get smashed. And I think they know where it's going to be smashed too. And I'm going to tell you what, the mark that I've been hearing through the grapevine is $1,000 gold. And I've been hearing it for quite some time. This is nothing new. I've been hearing this $1,000 gold business for quite some time as like a rumor. Just a rumor. $1,000 gold. What would that make silver? $10? Right? Now, here's the thing about all this. You guys out there in the audience right now, you're hearing me say this, and you're rooting for silver, rooting for gold, and you're probably disgusted, about ready to turn me off right now. But hear me through. I think these big guys have been waiting for this for a long time, and I think it's going to call. Now, this is my speculation now. I'm pulling it together for you. I think they've been waiting for a long time, and they know that they've told one another. The guys that are in the loop have told one another, hey, hold off buying gold and silver. We're all in the club together. We will feast on it when the signal goes and we're allowed to feast on it. And we'll all feast on it. And what we'll do is we'll clean it all up in 1 minute when the price hits the level that we want it at. We'll clean up all the physical. I think this is the plan. I think this is their plan, is that they want to get the price down through manipulation down to as low as they can possibly drive it to. And then they're all going to buy it in one fell swoop, all of the physical that's left. Everywhere, all the physical that's left. They got the money to do it. These guys have the money to clean out the store shelves in one fell swoop. Okay, so maybe this is the plan, for them to get the price down as low as they can possibly get it, clean it all out in one fell swoop, and then what is there? A shortage. Then, as hard as they've been driving the price down, and these are the guys probably, they're all like in a clique. They're all together. They're all like a unit. They all whisper to one another in back rooms when to do this and when to do that. This is how they got rich to begin with, is they know what to do. And how do they know it? Because all these rich guys pat each other on the back. They're buddy-buddy. They all know each other. They all go to the same country club, whatever, right? And so they're waiting for this $1,000 silver. Maybe that's the mark, $1,000 bucks. I mean, $1,000 gold and $10 silver. And so they drive this price down all of a sudden, like they drive the price down the last little bit. So say they got silver down to 14 right now, and say they got gold to 1,100 and something. It's not far to drive it down to the last little bit to get to 1,000. And when they do that, they'll drive it down fast. Overnight, you'll wake up and it'll be that price. You'll wake up and be getting your coffee, and you'll find out while you were asleep the night before they drove the price down from 14 down to 10 on silver, and that they've bought it all up in 2 hours while you were sleeping. The next morning, you'll find out that it happened. You'll see a spike straight down in the price, all the way down to a bottom, and then you'll see the spike back up in price. A giant red candle and a giant green candle while you were sleeping, and you'll go down to your local coin store, and they'll still have the coins there, but there will be a Brinks truck parked in front of your local coin store. And you say, what's that truck there for? Right? And they'll say, oh, don't you know, last night the silver price dropped and our whole supply, our whole inventory was sold. And there'll be guys there loading the monster boxes onto the Brinks truck and heading out. And these guys, like Jim Rogers, will have got in there and got your share, your neighbor's share, the neighbor across the street share, everybody's share, because the silver's in there right now for buying at $14. It's in there. You can go in and actually get it at $14. When these guys are done, you're not going to be able to have any. They'll have it all. They'll have all the physical. And then, as hard as they all drove it down, including J.P. Morgan Bank, and they've been accumulating like crazy, J.P. Morgan, as hard as they've driven it down on this end, down as lower, lower, all the way down to rock bottom. Once they get the squeeze on, once they've bought it all, then they're going to drive it up on the other end on you guys. They're going to drive the price up on the other end just as hard as they drove it down on this end. Their plan is once they've accumulated and they've got their positions, then they're all going to drive it up as hard as they can drive it up. They're going to pump it on the other end. As hard as they drain the oil out of it on this end. So now let's take a look at something else here. Let's take a look at Pastor Lindsey Williams. Now you might want to say, well, why is Jim Rogers, why is he spilling the beans on this? Well, I'm just going to speculate here. Now, what I'm going to say right now is pure speculation. It's only speculation. But guys like Jim Sinclair and Jim Rogers, they've got out there and they've already warned you guys. They've told you guys. They've told you guys. They said it's coming. They're telling you right now it's coming. And they've told you even that the price of gold was going to go down lower and all this stuff. They've told you the whole plan. They've laid it out for you, right? This is my speculation. This is what I'm speculating at this point. They've laid it out for us. And Lindsey Williams might give insight here to the reason why they're laying it out for us. Because I'm going to tell you what, I listened to Lindsey Williams for a long time back when he was an insider. He was an insider too for a while. And how Lindsey Williams was an insider is that he had a friend who was part of these elites, who was connected with the elites. I think his name was Fromm. And he died. His friend died. But his friend was passing on information to Lindsey Williams. So when Lindsey Williams was receiving this information from his friend, his elite friend, he was like he was part of the elites. And one of the things I remember Lindsey Williams saying is that the elites will not do anything unless they tell all of us first. The problem with us is that we don't listen, you know? So you've got a number of these insiders. Some of them have even said that they're in the CIA itself, in particular. I could mention one of them, but anyway, they're insiders, and they're coming forward and they're telling us directly, hey, you know what? This is what's coming down the pike. So let's follow the plan just a little bit further, okay? Pretend this actually happens the way that I'm speculating, because right now I'm speculating, and I'm telling you clearly that I'm only speculating. Let's just say that Jim Rogers is right, and this is the plan for them to go ahead and knock this price down and keep this price suppression on gold and silver going as long as they can until they run out of physical inventory. And at the last end, it's almost like a fireworks show. You know how they do in a fireworks show? They're setting firecrackers off for a long time, shooting them up into the air. And at the very end, they take all the last ones that they have, all the last ones of these bottle rockets or whatever they got, these rockets that go off in the sky. And they fire them all off at once in a spectacular burst. Right? That signals the end of the fireworks display. Well, this fireworks in precious metals, where they're driving it down. Each time they're driving it down, it's like launching one of these big rockets into the air. Well, it's the opposite. It's driving it down. Maybe they're saving the best to the last when they're going to drive it down from like $17 all the way down to $10 on silver, and from like $1,300 in gold all the way down to $1,000. This last salvo. And then at the end of that salvo, they're all going to come in all at once, the whole works of them, and pounce on what's left of the physical and take it all for themselves. And then they're going to switch gears the other way and drive the whole thing up. So what's it going to look like? What is this going to look like to you guys? Well, it's simple. You guys are not going to be in on getting that $10 silver. There's going to be a certain point when silver gets down to that last little bit where they figure that they can drive it down to the bottom and take it all for themselves. I'm going to say probably somewhere between $12 and $14. They're going to come to the realization, hey, we've got it to the point now where we can drive it to 10. Drive it to 10 and we'll buy it all for ourselves. And we got to do this before the end of 2018. Otherwise, it's not going to match what's on the Phoenix cover on the Economist magazine. It's not going to match the plan. Okay? So this is all speculation on my part. But what if it's true? What should you guys do? Well, I'm going to tell you what you should do. Don't wait for that $10 silver because you ain't going to get any. You better get in there when it's 14, when it's 15, when it's 12, when it's 11, whatever dollars you can get it at while you can still get it before they pull the plug. Because when these rich guys pull the plug, you ain't going to get any. And you're going to get left out in the cold. So now, Jim Rogers, he's waiting until the moment comes when they can buy it all. He's going to get it all. He's going to get in on it. He's going to get in on his. But I'm going to tell you about Jim Rogers. He's already got a lot. Now, if you've already got a lot already, say you got a big open supply of silver already and gold for yourself put away, then you can afford to try to get some of the $10 stuff. But if you guys haven't got any yet, none, and you're waiting for the $10 stuff, you ain't going to get any. And then you're going to see the price of the stuff go so high it's going to amaze you. I don't even think it's going to stop at triple-digit silver. I think it's going to go up to some crazy price like $200 an ounce. And you ain't going to have any. If you don't get in there and get some while it's still available. Don't wait for it to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, because in the end, it's not going to matter so much where you bought in. What's going to really matter is that you got some. And that's about what I want to say with my speculation here. I can't see anywhere at this point for this market to go except mostly up. They take it down too much lower, they're going to run out of physical supply. But that's what they're waiting for. I think they're waiting. I think that's the whole plan, to drive it down like a spike and then run out of physical supply. Let her run dry and then drive it up on the other end. And this is what I think the whole plan is for JP Morgan Bank, and I think this is why they've accumulated I think it's like 150 billion ounces. It's some unbelievable number like that they've accumulated in their COMEX warehouse. It's ridiculous. You know, and they're not accumulating. I'm going to tell you, JP Morgan Bank, when they go into something, they have to accumulate physical. That means that they have to go ahead and they have to store the stuff, they have to guard it and everything else. They're not going to go through all of that effort unless they plan on making at least 10 times. So 10 times would mean probably $160 silver. And if you think that's crazy, look at the price it went to last time when the economy went to $50 an ounce, and that's back when money was worth a lot more than it is now. That's back before all of the money printing went on. You know, that we've had tremendous amount of money printing. It's not unreasonable to think of $150 silver when these guys are driving it up. Just as hard as they've been driving it down on this end, when they drive it up on the other end, it's not unreasonable to think of $150 or even $200 an ounce silver. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next show. Bye-bye.